Hello everyone, welcome back to Morgan's Movie Collection. We're back today, we're very excited because we have a 50s sci-fi staple. It's a Wonderful Podcast favourite, it has to be said, and three real classic French movies that I've wanted to see for an awfully long time. All the same label. We're in BFI territory today. That's the British Film Institute. 5 Blu-rays, 5 titles to show today in today's Morgan's Movie Collection video, and we're back with this nice setup that I do like, that we are going to stick with for these kind of videos, I'm pretty sure. But I think we should just get straight on into it this week with, like I said, a 50s sci-fi staple, and that is 1956's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like I said, all 5 Blu-rays today are from BFI. Again, these are ones that I have bought at the start of this year of 2023. And this just to boost, not just to boost my kind of BFI collection, but sometimes BFI are the only ones that put out certain movies for Blu-ray in Britain, I've found. They're really good editions. It has to be said, they're really phenomenal editions, feature-wise and quality of product-wise, as you would expect from a company like BFI, to be fair. But we'll start with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1956, a wonderful, wonderful movie. Like I said, just one of the great 50s sci-fi movies for all types of reasons, really, for all readings of this movie that you can have, of the fear of communism, of the kind of fear of loss of individuality, of nuclear and scientific advancement and other worlds, and a fear of the unknown, a fear of the other, and these kind of things that really cement the kind of psyche in 50s small town USA, which is exactly what this is. Kevin McCarthy with his wonderfully unique nostrils, and Dana Winter are great in this as well. Directed by Don Siegel. I am a big fan of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I think it's a great movie. With this comes an awfully lot of special features. A newly recorded audio commentary with filmmaker and critic Jim Hemphill, a 50th anniversary commentary with Kevin McCarthy and Dana Winter, and Gremlins director Joe Dante. You get the John Player lecture, Don Siegel, 75 minutes audio only. Don Siegel looks over his career with Barry Norman. Sleep No More, Invasion of the Body Snatchers Revisited, 27 minutes, a look at Body Snatchers production history, the fear and the fiction, the Body Snatchers phenomenon, considering the film's themes and critical interpretations, What's in a Name, 2 minutes, how the invasion got its title, Return to Santa Mira, 13 minutes, key locations and the film's production designer explored, a selection of complementary archive shorts with British propaganda short Doorstep to Communism, 1948, and groundbreaking botanical cinematography in Magic Mixes, 11 minutes, and Battle of the Plants, 11 minutes. That's 1931 and 1926 for those botanical movies as well. Original theatrical trailer, a Trailers from Hell 3-minute kind of review celebration, looks like from Joe Dante as well, and the Image Gallery. A frightening amount of features on this Invasion of the Body Snatchers release. The case itself is very basic. There's no fancy artwork or anything like that. It's a lovely looking front, it must be said, but the features are the true gems of that. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I'm delighted to have that one in the collection, as well as I'm delighted to have this, which is a true It's a Wonderful podcast favourite. If you know the main show well, if you are subscribed to the podcast feed, the It's a Wonderful podcast feed on all major podcast platforms, and you remember Janine and I talking about this movie and just having an ungodly amount of love for it, considering the fact that I think it's one of the most ridiculously bland titles ever, but for such a great movie. And this is Separate Tables from 1958. Delbert Mann directed. We had a Delbert Mann movie on the last Morgan's Movie Collection video, of course. That's Marty, the Best Picture winner, 1955. But Separate Tables with Burt Lancaster, Rita Hayworth, Deborah Carr, and David Niven. David Niven won his Oscar for Separate Tables. It's a brilliant movie. It's a really good drama. It's wonderfully acted, beautifully balanced. There's people like David Niven and Deborah Carr playing roles that you don't necessarily think of them in. Playing characters that you don't necessarily think of them as. It's a beautifully interwoven story. There's so many wonderful character interactions and actor interactions between this great cast that you do have here. Burt Lancaster's great. Rita Hayworth's obviously great. Wendy Hiller is in this movie as well. She's great. Feature-wise, with Separate Tables, I would recommend actually going listening to the Separate Tables episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast. But special features, we have nowhere near as many as Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Actually, we have an audio commentary by Delbert Mann, the director, which is nice. We have Burt Lancaster Guardian interview, which is 96 minutes audio only. We have the trailer from 1958 as Stills Gallery, an illustrated booklet featuring new writing by Katie McGahan and Philip Kemp, along with full film credits. This is also a dual format, so you get 2 discs, 1 DVD, 1 Blu-ray, and there is the booklet. It's nice that you get a booklet. It's a decent sized booklet actually as well. It's nice that you get a booklet with this to kind of make up for it not having quite as many features as Body Snatchers did. But Separate Tables is a wonderful, wonderful movie. And Janine actually did get me this as a Christmas present as well, get me this one. So I'm very, very thankful for that. And I am delighted to own it. I do want to watch it again. It's great, and it's not a movie you would necessarily think about at all. It seems like it would be one that would run under the mill, and then it shouldn't. Or run under the radar, not run under the mill, run off the mill. My brain, forgive me. 3 French classics, like I did mention as well. Our sign today is BFI La France, which is, obviously, these are BFI Blu-rays, and we have 3 French movies here. The first being The Wages of Fear from 1953 with Yves Montand, which is a movie I really have wanted to see for a long, long time. A kind of adventure epic of transporting, what is it, nitroglycerin over treacherous terrain. Obviously, kind of a boiling pot kind of adventure movie because of the volatile nature of something like nitroglycerin. You can't get too rough with it, and obviously being on treacherous terrain, you get those kind of vibes. It's almost like Speed, Keanu and Sandra Bullock, but French and from the 50s. And Yves Montand is a great actor. I love him in Jean de Florette. So I really wanted to see this movie. Henri-Georges Clouzot directed, and yeah, I'm led to believe it's just a wonderful, wonderful, thrilling adventure action epic movie. It's quite long. It's 152 minutes. I should have mentioned how long the other two were. Actually, never mind. I'm not doing that now. Special features here. You do get quite a lot. It's a new 4K restoration. Interview with assistant director Michel Romanoff, 23 minutes. Interview with Clouzot biographer Marc Godin, 10 minutes. Interview with Professor Lucy Masdon, 35 minutes. An in-depth interview about Henri-Georges Clouzot and the Wages of Fear. Audio commentary with Adrian Martin. The Guardian lecture, Yves Montand in conversation with Don Allen, 99 minutes audio only, recorded in 1989, and he discusses his career. The original theatrical trailer, an illustrated booklet with a new essay by Andy Miller, original reviews by Carol Rice and Penelope Houston, an appreciation of Clouzot by Paul Ryan, and full film credits. I think this is also dual format. It is. There is the booklet. There are the 2 discs. The Wages of Fear. French movies. More French movies to the collection, which is always great to open up to other languages, even if it is something as kind of mainstream as French movies. It's always nice to do that. Next up in the French movies, we have Eyes Without a Face, or Les Yeux Sans Visage, which, again, is a movie I've wanted to see for an awfully long time because of just how creepy I'm led to believe it is. It's a little bit horror. It's probably more psychological thriller based, really. But Georges Franju directed, and it is the face mask movie. People know it. People know the images from Eyes Without a Face, even if you don't know that it's necessarily from Eyes Without a Face. You can see she's wearing just the plain mask and only her eyes move because of plastic surgery, and I think it's a father, actually, in the movie, kind of tries to surgically enhance situations, or there's disfigurement involved, and it's kind of. But I don't really know anything about this movie. Can you tell? I don't know anything about this movie. I just know I really want to see it, and that's all I need to know. I know the very, very basic of what it's about, and this is all I need. I don't need to know the ins and outs of every single movie before I get it. I just know that I want it, and I have it, and I'm very happy about that. Special features here. We get a 14-minute long. Oh, what's this? Oh no, it's Monsieur et Madame Curie, which is a 14-minute short film about Marie Curie, by the looks of it, directed by Georges Franju. La Première Nuit, which is another short film by Georges Franju, 20 minutes. A 10-year-old boy spends a night in the metro. Les Fleurs Maladives de Georges Franju, which is 50 minutes, an overview of Georges Franju's career. For Her Eyes Only, an interview with Edith Scobe, 17 minutes, who talks about working with Georges Franju. An audio commentary by Tim Lucas of Video Watchdog. Fully illustrated booklet featuring essays by Kate Ince, Isabel Stevens, Roberto Cueto Lera, or Yera, Raymond Dugna, Kevin Jackson, Michael Brook, and full film credits. So quite a lot of nice features there as well. Forgive my French pronunciation as well if it wasn't particularly accurate. But there you go, dual format again, and a nice booklet for Eyes Without a Face. Yes, I kind of also want to do that on It's a Wonderful Podcast, the main show, as well, because I feel like I would have a lot of nice things to say about such a particularly famously creepy, visually creepy movie. Lastly, and I think most notably, another French movie, like I said, we have the BFI release of Francois Truffaut's The 400 Blows, which is possibly the most famous French movie ever. Possibly. It is a movie I've never seen. I'm very familiar with it. It's the coming of age story. It's really Truffaut's most known movie, his kind of seminal movie. The coming of age story in tough times of, what's his name in the movie? I forget what his name is. Antoine, played by Jean-Pierre Lowe, who is the boy on the front there. As far as the French kind of new wave movement of the time went, it's massively impactful in filmmaking style, in storytelling style, and that kind of stuff. And not only am I excited to see it because of its kind of importance in movie history, but just because I'm led to believe it's just really a very, very impactful, kind of emotional, really captivating movie. And again, I want to open myself up to all these new kinds of movies to me this year. Of which some older French movies are in there, some very, very notable older French movies. I'm not a complete novice when it comes to French movies, but these three here are certainly going to help boost that for me, and I'm delighted to have this. This is a really good release as well in terms of features. It's presented in HD from a new 4K restoration. You get a commentary by Robert Lachenet. You get audition footage from 1958 of Jean-Pierre Lowe, and a couple of other people doing screen tests for Truffaut. You get an 18-minute short by Truffaut from 1957. You get Truffaut, Bazin, Renoir, A Love Story, 18 minutes, which is film academic Catherine Wheatley's illustrated presentation recorded at Francois Truffaut's Cinematic and Literary Influences Study Day on the BFI South Bank in London, which just seems to be a presentation of Truffaut, Bazin and Renoir and great French movies of this time. You get Images of Paris, a documentary or documentary gems from the BFI National Archive, including panorama around the Eiffel Tower from 1900, which is a minute long. Metropolitan Railway of Paris 1913 and Lunch on the Eiffel Tower 1914. The original theatrical trailer, a 2022 trailer, and image gallery. This is quite a recent release, as you can tell by the fact it was only released last year as a Blu-ray. But those like ridiculously early shorts of Paris I'm quite interested in as well. But the 400 Blows I'm delighted to own, and I'm delighted to own such a great edition of. I think the only thing that would come close to this would be the Criterion of it, and in looking for in kind of choosing which version to get, because you can do that if you've got multiple options to choose from. It's a really good quality looking booklet as well, a lot of stuff in there. I like that. I did decide to go with this one. It was a little bit less pricey and equally as great for features and a more recent release. So there's really no contest there. But there we go. For our 5 new Blu-rays today on Morgan's Movie Collection. 3 French movies, a sci-fi gem, like I said, one of the great 50s sci-fi movies, and an It's a Wonderful podcast favourite. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe, ding the notification bell on this YouTube channel for more videos like this, as well as all the other fun stuff we have got on the It's a Wonderful Podcast YouTube channel and subscribe to the podcast feed for Monday Madness Morgan hasn't seen and the main show It's a Wonderful Podcast itself. Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday we celebrate old movies over on the main show. If you're here for Morgan's Movie Collection, which features very predominantly old movies, you may just love the main show It's a Wonderful Podcast over on the podcast feed as well. Patreon links, donation links are in the description if you would like to support us that way, as are the social media links. I think there's only one thing left for me to do, and that is to say, until next time, thank you very much for watching another Morgan's Movie Collection video, and bye.